Hello, good morning, everybody. We're live here from the birdhouse, and migration is continuing. So, going to do a quick update about some of the things people are seeing and how you can keep some of these migrants in your backyards, or at least give you a little bit of a better chance. As always, we love to know what kind of things you are seeing, so you can put those in the comments. If you have questions, you can put those in there too, or you can just say hi. So we'll get started. It's although we are still in migration time, but things seem to be a little stalled here at the moment, probably because the weather's been pretty rainy and dreary. We've been having lots of rain over the past few days, and that might be holding up some migrants. So if you are hearing a whole bunch of migrants that usually just pass through pretty quickly, like I'm hearing in my yards, that could be why. That's what I'm kind of thinking. And kind of the same idea, if you haven't seen any orioles yet or hummingbirds, they might still be held up and just not coming through to your backyard yet. If you are local to the area, we did start our birding cruises on Tuesday. We had our first one. Our first cruise of the year was on the Genesee River. Most of them are on the Genesee River, and they are selling out pretty quick. So our June one is sold out. Our July cruise only has 2 spots left. There are still some spots for August and September. And we do still have some spots left on our Colonial Belle trip, which is this Thursday, the 29th, on the Erie Canal. It leaves out of Fairport. So there are still some spots left. That's from 2:30 to 5:30. That's the longest one we're doing. It's a 3-hour cruise, which should be pretty fun. It's going to be a birding cruise. We're going to go through the lock, and you can learn more about the Erie Canal, which is in its 200th year this year. So that should be lots of fun. But yeah, sign up. There are still some spots available for some of the cruises, but others have sold out. Also, we've restocked our Oriole section. Our Oriole section was looking kind of sad for a little bit there, with everybody picking up Oriole feeders. We have it all nicely restocked. So feel free to pop in if you weren't able to find something that you were looking for. We certainly have a lot in stock now. And we also have our puzzle swap going on all weekend long too. So that's going on all day today and all day tomorrow. So it's all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Speaking of warblers that are just kind of hanging out, I've been hearing a blackpoll warbler calling from the front yard for over a week now, and that's pretty crazy. I looked up their migration, and usually they just pass through pretty quick. So it's kind of weird for me that it's been hanging around so long. And this is one of those migrants. I'm wondering if the weather's kind of stalling it and keeping it from migrating further north. This is its map of where it will ultimately end up. So you can see that they come from the top of South America, northern part of South America. They migrate through our area, which is the yellow on the map there, and then they end up north up and mostly up into Canada is where they will breed. So usually they kind of just pass through pretty quickly, but this one's been calling for over a week now in my yard. So I've got to get eyes on it before he flies further north. But if you're hearing a bunch of warblers still in your backyard that usually are gone by now, that could be why. And as far as warblers go, if you're trying to get better views of them and maybe entice them down to your backyard where you can see them a little bit better, there are some things that you can put out there. Jelly is, of course, one. So the Orioles will eat the jelly, but every once in a while, people will get a migrant on their jelly, like this northern parula, or sometimes we hear a black-throated blue warbler. And we have the birdberry jelly, we have the grape jelly, and we have plenty of that in stock. If you are looking for some jelly for your birds, you can absolutely count on us having it. We have a whole bunch here in stock. So not only might you get the Orioles coming to your jelly, and you never know, you might get one of these migratory warblers, but things like gray catbird love that jelly too. And Orioles are in their nesting phase now. They're building their nests. I've been seeing some with nesting material. I happened to come across a female who was weaving a nest, and I could see the nest in the tree. I'm not sure if there's any eggs in there yet, but it's not quite to the stage yet where the Orioles will be going to the mealworms as readily as they will in a couple of weeks. That being said, people have been putting out the mealworms, and they are getting the gray catbirds eating them. Some of the orioles are eating those mealworms. Bluebirds are eating them, wrens. So putting out insects can help attract not only those birds, but sometimes the warblers too, because they eat a lot of insect material. So putting out mealworms is another way to try to entice some of these warblers and migratory birds to come down closer to you in your yard where you can see them a little bit better. And then sunflower hearts. So a lot of these birds are little, and they might not have a beak that can easily crack open big seeds. So putting out sunflower hearts can always help, because that's the inside of the sunflower seed, so they don't have to crack open that shell. And we do hear about warblers every once in a while coming to feeders to eat sunflower hearts, same as things like scarlet tanager will eat the sunflower hearts. So that's another seed that you can put out to try to entice some of these migrants to come to your backyard and hang out for a little bit. And then nesting material for those birds that are building nests and will nest here all season long, or all summer long and all spring long. You can also put out nesting material, and we have the nesting balls, and we also have the Hummer Helper nesting material. Both are really, really soft. They're all natural fibers and natural cotton. And these birds will use it to either build their nest or line their nest. And so we have both of those in stock. The nesting balls are super popular, and the Hummer Helper nesting material is great too. The hummingbirds will pick at it. So will other birds like the goldfinches love it. Tufted titmouse love it. And you might even get something like this little yellow warbler coming to it, because they will pick little fine pieces of soft material for their nests. And this was a photo sent in recently of a yellow warbler with a little bit of nesting material in its bill. So they are in the nesting process as well. They're starting to build those nests. So it's a really exciting time. Lots of these birds that are here for the season are starting that nest building process. They've gotten their mates, and the egg laying process will be happening shortly. And then we've been talking about water and how water can also attract not only the warblers, but a lot of other birds, because not all birds will come to a feeder. They don't all nest in houses, but they need some kind of water all the time. So we've talked about the solar fountain inserts that can turn any kind of bird bath into a moving water feature. And then there's also the water wigglers, which are a little device with a propeller in it, basically, that will spin around and create little ripples in the water. And having moving water can attract more birds. And it also keeps mosquitoes from being able to lay their eggs and that larvae to develop in the water. So you kind of get a little bit of benefit in a couple ways by having some moving water. So water is also great for attracting some of these birds, not only warblers, but things like scarlet tanager, which people are seeing in the area too. So, and then of course we showed these photos earlier in the week that Lee had sent in of her warblers that were in her backyard coming to this water feature. She had some really good success with bay-breasted warblers and Tennessee warbler coming, and chestnut-sided warbler as well, coming to her backyard to that water feature. It might have been front yard. I can't remember what she said, but they will absolutely come to water. So thank you guys for watching. It looks like Sharon is on, and she has a comment. She says, hummingbirds like fresh food, had to thoroughly clean the feeder my husband washes. So yeah, the other thing is you definitely want to keep those feeders clean. Hummingbird feeders can get dirty pretty quickly. They can get kind of sticky. So you definitely want to keep them clean. We have little brushes that you can use to clean those feeding ports. We have the nectar defender, which is a little additive that you can put in your nectar to keep it fresh longer. So instead of having to change it out every couple of days, every 2 or 3 or 4 days, it'll keep it fresh for more like a week or 10 days, which is really nice. But we've got all that kind of stuff here at the store that you can use to keep your food fresh, as well as keep the feeders clean. So that's a really good tip from Sharon, and it is very, very true. I'm sure you know, if you feed hummingbirds or orioles, it can get kind of sticky. So appreciate you guys tuning in today. I hope you have a nice long Memorial Day weekend. We are open even on Memorial Day. So we're open 7 days a week, and we have special holiday hours on Memorial Day, but we will be open from 9 till 3. So you can stop in and get some fun stuff for your yard, not only for the birds, but we've got lots of great things for the garden and garden tools and lots of fun nature themed gifts. So stop on in. We will be here for you, and we'll be back on Tuesday with another live stream. So until then, if you've got photos, absolutely send them in, and we will talk to you with another update on Tuesday. Bye-bye.